Glasses. We need glasses. Glasses. Ramwick. That's working. What? Okay, in 3 hours. That's evil. Fraser. All right. I'm cast. So I've got to push through this. Ramwick. What do I want to do? I want to look at this. All right. So it was weird. Times are so fast that I kind of went down the rabbit hole. Let me just do this. G'day, Jack. Yeah, I kind of went down the rabbit hole trying to work out whether the wind was significant or not, and apparently it wasn't. This thing does tell you where it was sort of easterly, east-southeast, so it's sort of crossing down out in the back and then crossing into in the straight, which makes sense, but it doesn't say, why these times were so fast. The track came out like a 2, maybe a little bit slower around the, sort of 2, it's come out quicker actually, around the bend, and then not as quick from the chute, but the times are just crazy fast. So, we've given a 4. Doesn't look like it was a 4. Let's just put it that way. Same as today. Track records, still a 4. Grow your stream with bot liver. Bugger off. Majorian, Incourt, and Winston. Incourt was good. Majorian, I thought that was the worst race I'd ever seen, so well done. And Winston was a great Nash ride, and the favourite didn't finish the course. Still a good result, well done. Yeah, so fast times, significant bias. I don't think there really was one. Usually these fast tracks, you want to be up closer to the speed, sort of stalking. Most of the winners came from those spots, but we did see horses sort of run on too. Attica came from the back with a fast tempo. A couple of the 2-year-old races, Incognito gave them a start. There were horses running on. Jimmy Star made up 20 lengths. So I think the track was reasonably fair. But, as normal, it is, you just want to be closer to the speed. You want to be in play by the 400-metre mark, so that's just normal. We'll kick off. How many viewers do I want? None. Go away. It was definitely a 2. There you go. So even Paul agrees. I'm still a bit sick back in Cosmic Lad. Looked like it was the winner. All right, I've got no sheets. I'm fighting with my computer at the moment, so if I get horses wrong, I apologise. I've gone back to the dark ages. So,
little bit. Now Claim the Crown is back down.
Yeah, Jeter's been promising to do this for a while. It was a bit of a pox race. There's a lot of similar horses here. Whatever got the right run was always going to be the winner. I know that sounds stupid, but you know what I mean. When you get a lot of horses that are similar in ability, it's just the luck of the way the draw falls on these days. But they did go very, very fast here, way too quick. 12 lengths above to the 800, 14 lengths above to the 600. Come home about 5 below. So the time's really fast, but I don't think it means a lot in these midways. You've got to be very careful of fast run or high rating midways. I find the form still doesn't carry. So yeah, way too quick. Nash, is it Nash? On Cash Me. And they got Keen, the horses up front. I think Harlow Mist, who's about 5th defence, is the horse that sort of sticks on. Ajita's back a little bit further, is it, or is it in the 1-1? Ajita's back here somewhere, isn't it? No, Ajita is the one in the. So these are the 2 horses that run 1-2 in the sort of sweet spot just behind that leading pack that go hard. Kashmir runs last, second last. Irish Bliss runs last. And Sunset Park, who I think's found its level in life, runs midfield. So, yeah, Ajita's always been promising to do this. When it gets these sort of runs, it can do this. Just doesn't do it out of turn, as we're well aware. I feel like I've already spent too much time in this race already. But sort of from a future perspective, I guess Harlow Mist has shown she's ready to go now. Ajita's obviously very dangerous in this grade if it's still eligible. These horses down the outside, they just need easier races. Horses like Weeby Jammin' and Claim the Crown went okay. I thought it went okay, but it was sort of just giving up way too big a start and just a hard horse to place. But if it draws a gate, it's the sort of horse that can then hold a spot. So what did it drew there? It drew 12. But that's these sort of races. Whatever draws the sweet spot in these races tends to race well. It's just future. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. You swap the draws, you swap the results to a certain degree, but it's a punish too, Highborn Harry. Next, let's get away from that race. We've got 30 other races that are decent to have a look at. All right, the Breeders' Plate. Interestingly, Uncle Joel, who's in our Discord, if anyone is in there, they'll know him. It's not easy. He's a very good judge of looking him on the TV, which is an art in itself, watching him, not just live, but on the TV. And he sort of pointed out before the race, he thought this Incognito had improved an absolute stack and clearly the most in the race from the trials. He's got a great eye and he was spot on here. They go quick, but not overly quick. Eviction Notice is probably a little bit underwhelming, gave up a little bit. I think the horse to follow is Revengeance by a mile. I think once the penny drops with this horse Revengeance, it'll be the horse to follow. But physically, I thought I'm Your Huckleberry and Incognito kind of stood out. Had a bit of a chat with both of jocks about this horse, but they're adamant that this horse will improve Eviction Notice and not to sack him. So that'll be interesting. But this is Incognito back in the green, in the Harron Hut colours, Revengeance in front of it. Just even here, you can see it gets detached, doesn't really know what, coming from a trial to a race for the first time. They just sometimes don't know what it's all about. It's a different speed altogether, even though they do go reasonably quick in those 2-year-old trials compared to normal trials. It's still a different level of pressure and what have you. So, I'm Your Huckleberry was good outside the leader, chasing a solid tempo. Revengeance is in the right spot, but you can see Incognito's just got a bit more race sense and goes straight past him here. And by the time he works out that he's in a race and he's got to chase, it's all over. In the last sort of 50 metres, we see what Revengeance really starts to knuckle down. So
Incognito moving 3 wide now as they come up the rise. Eviction Notice in front from I Am Huckleberry, who's stoked up. Clark goes for Eviction Notice.
So it's a good win, Incognito. No knock at all on it. Certainly, they don't go super fast, so it's tempo assisted, but it's not as if it's crazy, and it definitely does peak late. And here comes Revengeance now, just starting to work out that he's in a race the last 20 metres when it's all over. So, whether, it's too early to tell whether this is the A-grade form or what have you, but the time's okay. Solid enough for the first 2-year-old race of the season. They look like they went a little bit quicker and there was maybe a little bit more quality to them than the fillies, but the fillies looked like they were quite immature and didn't really know what they were doing. So, no knock on the first sort of 4 or 5 across the line. Don't think we'd learnt a lot there. I'm not declaring any slipper winner out of that. But Jim Crack Stakes. Just sort of said this race was a little bit more underwhelming on the clock. But I think there's horses that can improve quite significantly here. So the Bjorn Baker horse, what's it called? Masvingo, kind of gets a check there and gets a bit lost. I think the horse that can improve a stack is this horse, Home Invasion. I think it had the speed to lead here, but I would imagine that the stable decided that it was better for everybody if Shiki led, and that looks like the plan. So she gets a bit lost. Masvingo gets in an awkward spot and has to get sort of dragged back and gets checked. It was certainly very unlucky as well, but I'm just concerned. I think there's a lot of runners here that'll improve with the experience that don't really know what it was all about. They got sort of in tight quarters, the bigger field. It was just a bit tricky for a lot of these horses. So I'd just be wary that a number of these horses could improve off the back of this. I don't really want to sack too many or be too nasty to these horses. I don't really think they're all sort of ready to go. So the Wilding kind of gets lost when it's travelling and doesn't know where to go. Home Invasion looks like it never gets out of first gear to me. And even Yvonne's Joy back here goes okay. So yeah, I think again, just be kind, treating it as nearly as a glorified barrier trial heading towards wherever they go next, whether it's 6 months from now or in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't think there's any standouts at Mayo, exactly. So I don't think we've sort of found anything special, which is probably what you're looking for at this time of the year. You're looking for horses with huge edges over the rest, and I don't think they really existed there. The Dulcify, they go too fast here, about 7 lengths above to the 800, slow to 4 lengths above to the 6, and then come home 7 below. So the race itself comes home about 10 lengths below from the 800 metre mark. Not a good sign for a Dulcify when we're talking about heading into races like the Spring Champion and the like, but we'll look at the 3-year-old race in Melbourne, and they do the opposite. They go really slow and don't exactly sprint home like Gazelle. So lining them all up is difficult. There's just no depth to any of these 3-year-olds. The fillies are absolute pocks. So, you know, the Caulfield Guineas is weird. It's just like you've got Baywhack and a couple of sort of sprinters, Skyhawk and Tempted, and then they fall off a cliff, to be honest. So this is Attica, sort of comes back with the blinkers on for the first time and in the white cap, I think. Gets sort of dragged in behind him. They're going quicker than it looks here because they're in a pack, so Ruination's effort's pretty good considering it sits outside the leader. It's probably one that's got huge upside, but it is first prep, so third run, first prep. I think they said Azarax is going for a spell off the back of this. It's the horse in the Laurel Oak collars running fourth in the red with the white and green. But yes, you can see Attica's sort of resenting the being restrained, so it's probably the one horse with, you know, even though it's pace assisted, can be ridden closer. Blinkers obviously did the trick. Heading to a race like Spring Champion or something like that, you'd still entertain him as a solid chance. Federalist looks like it wants hurdles to me. Ruination's definitely the one that's quite interesting, whether it can continue to improve. It's all 3 runs have been excellent. So Attica's down the outside. Federalist back here in the, what are they, the Smith, those colours from Bob Peters colours, are they?
From Attica, forget about with that pair, it's dropping out. Ruination in front. Attica's the big danger, and then Flying Orchid, but quickly Attica pounced on the outside, takes the lead away from Ruination, clear from Flying Orchid, and that's a big win.
Here comes the hurdler over at the top of them late when the race is all over. Yeah, it still ran a faster last 200 Attica than Federalist, even though it looked like it didn't. Yeah, for me, I'd say that the first 2 across the line are the only 2 I want to be too excited about this time in. Yeah. Parfumist. This is a weird horse. We sort of talked about this horse early in its prep where, you know, when they have a long, hard prep, sometimes it takes them a few runs to come back. It's weird, even though it didn't have like a super long break. Sometimes, I don't know what it is. It's like their body protects themselves, and it's like, you know, jockeys when they try and ride too light. When they have a break, they just stack on the fat or whatever it is to try and really recover, I think. And then, it, you know, no matter how much the trainer tries to get work into them, it takes them a couple of runs. So that those first 2 runs back, and then it even had a trial. So it went 12, 12, 900, and then last start we it got back to somewhere near its best. And then Saturday it was ready to rock and roll, and the jockey change is what threw me off, but Regan did a good job. The horse is not that hard to ride, to be fair, and it did look like it was going to land a good spot and have pretty much control of the race, and that kind of all worked out. But the horse has definitely gone like a rocket. It goes about 6 above, I think, to the 600 metre mark, and then comes home in about even time. So they've gone 5 above, raised up to 6.5 above by the 600 metre mark, then come home in just above average. So fast time, hard to beat when you're doing that up on the bunny. You know, yeah, I'm going to argue with everyone till the day I die. You watch a horse called Frill today with the earmuffs come off. The difference it makes to these horses, like even having to rev this horse out of the gate with the earmuffs up to a mile, this horse should just bounce there, and you can see just it dulls their senses, it dulls their ability to, you know, do things quickly, I think. And I'm not saying it cost the horse the race 1,000,000%, but I'm saying that yeah, when you press the button, it's not the same response. So again, it doesn't look like they're going fast here. I think the wind did sort of help them go a little bit quicker over this backside.
So there's a bit happening. Just dropping in behind them in the early stages is
But to the eye, it finds a decent spot idle flyer.
Political debate on a wide path. They're followed further back by in the red cap powers of Opal.
Yeah, poor old mate. Is it Schiller the Thriller? He couldn't even hold pocketing, could he? Sorry, I've got to get this up so I can tell what horse is what. Is it Schiller the Thriller on pocketing? Yeah, it is.
Further back then to Ruby Florin, the black jacket down on the rails. Geriatrics as well back together with Emred as they race up towards.
And you're right, like Paul's saying, they Imperialist and pocketing run cover. But what I'm saying is, if this horse didn't have the earmuffs on, you watch the way he travels last start without the earmuffs and the way he does here. So he in up to a mile, it should be keener if anything, and he's like half trying to rev the horse here, even when it's in restricted room. It would have pulled its way through or pushed him out of the way last start. Yeah, I just, the difference is monumental for mine, but regardless, the winner's gone like a rocket. Emred every chance. Imperialist has worked up on a fast speed. Time Quest has gone okay. Churchill Choice makes some ground from the back. So does Plymouth. I don't think they were very well suited here. Hard horses to place, to be fair, for mine. But all the merits in the first two across the line. Geriatrics is crying out for the right race. I just don't know what it is. It's nearly a horse you'd love to get hold of. I think it's, I don't know what, like whether it's tricky to place the horse or what the story is. But you know, if it came up for sale, it's a horse you'd probably get hold. It's probably a group horse anywhere, but in the Waller stable, he's just got too many of the same horse. And if you send it to Adelaide or Brisbane or something, I'm pretty sure this horse is a lot better than what we're getting to see. It just never gets put in the right race. It's not as if it did anything spectacular here, but it just never gets given its chance for mine. Hasn't drawn any gates or anything either, and it did stay in the gate that other time. Yeah, I think that the merit's all up in the first two here. Definitely both of them can step up to better things. I just think that the earmuffs have got to come off idle flyer. I think it's a 1,200-1,400 metre horse too. I don't know why they're trying to make this horse run further, but each to their own, and I've whinged enough about that horse. Time Quest, yeah, it's done a really good job between the 8 and the 4 and the 8 and the 6 and the 4. It's run some fast splits and probably evened out late off a little break. Real class, made some ground up the inside, probably wants a little bit further, so do Churchill's Choice and Polymnia. Not much to be seen there. Next. Flight Stakes, and I've had my whinge here too. What do? They go 12 lengths below to the 800 metre mark. They slow another 6 lengths, so they slow another second between the 8 and the 6. So they go 19, 8.5 lengths below to the 600 metre mark, come home only 3.5 above. So they've still come home from the 800 metre mark 2.5 or nearly 3 lengths below standard off the back of that slow tempo. So what do? Like, they've gone horrifically slow. It's not as if they were ripping up the straight into that sort of headwind, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you say? It's tricky. They've just gone so slow that it's a no race, but they haven't really broken the clock coming home. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm sick of saying, like, everyone's saying what a great ride. You can see that he didn't even want to go forward. He's trying to slot in and he can't get in. Is it Zach? Zach on Karinska won't let him in. And then he kind of keeps having to creep forward, and he's kind of sort of poking up here where he shouldn't be poking. He's just, I can't say it was a great ride. It wasn't a bad ride, but I don't think that I don't think the jockey had much to do with it. I think it's just the horse has just got so much on these horses, and we've just got to try and work out whether this is a good horse or the rest of them are just three humpers. And I kind of think they're three humpers. I don't really see a lot of upside. We'll shout out to poor old A King who backed Enviable, as did I. I thought if I threw it in Quinellas, I thought they'd go forward for sure on Enviable, and they had eyes for one thing, and that was to drag it out at the start. And now it's back here second last having a barrier trial. It's amazing what happens in these Group 1s when they all think that they need to cuddle just to run the distance and chasing black type because it's so valuable, but this was just a horrible race. So it should suit horses like Karinska and Within the Law, who are sit sprinters and probably, I don't know, up in trip, probably Enviable is the only one you'd want to be with, potentially. And I just don't know how good this horse is. I think, if you threw this horse in the deep end against good horses, I'd be gapping it. But against her own age and sex, she looks pretty good, right? And even against the males out to the mile and that, she still might be all right, but I don't know. Yeah, I agree with what you say there, Amaya. They're always desperate to get horses out in distance. It's a weird one. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with. And it's annoying because once a horse is ready for a distance, they seem to step it up, so they're always half a step behind. They sort of chase preparations out in distance when their horse is never really ready to run it, and they keep stepping it a step too far, so they're always a step out of reach, if that makes sense. All right, let's blow up again here. Fastest last 800 and 600 of the day from Jimmy Starr. He peaked late-ish, but he still ran the 8th fastest last 200 of the day off the back of an even tempo, whereas all those other fast sections, so most of the runners that ran fast last 200s, Within the Law, Within the Law, Karinska, Apocalyptic, they all came out of that bollocks race where they went 20 lengths below. So you'd expect them to run the fastest last 200, and also like World Alliance, I think that was a slow tempo too. So Green Shadows, it was a good sneaky run. All these horses run the fast. More Felons is in there. That's interesting. But, Jimmy, where does he lose the race? He loses the race when he drags it in behind. And then you listen to him after the race say, oh, well, at least he jumped on terms with them today and we know he can hold a spot next time. Oh, my God. I just wanted to headbutt a wall. And he said, oh, we just had to come back that extra bit to get cover. Well, maybe he did. But what he does is just actively drag the horse back rather than let the speed get away from him and land on the back of this horse eventually. He drags the horse back in behind. He's an extra 2 to 3 lengths behind that he didn't need to be. And did that cost him the race? We'll never know. But Brass was always going to get the run it did. And Tyler does nothing wrong. The horse runs well. It was a pretty much everything went according to plan race, except for this here where this is where he lets Briassa win the race, where he's not here, he's not there, he's not trying to get his horse into the race, he's riding it to hit the line to try and run well next start, and he cost himself the race for mine, and he cost himself the race clearly for mine. So he's already, he's gone 200 metres too late.
Clark said go, and Private Harry hits the lead from Marzu. Briassa's 2 lengths away, closing in. Jimmy Starr, it's not all over yet, he's coming, but Briassa moved up, takes the lead at the 100. Jimmy Starr's running into second. Briassa in front, those got them.
Oh, look at the dominance late. Look at the dominance this horse over this horse. It's pretty crazy, to be fair. And I don't, unless the draws actually are so important to this Everest race. Hey mate, sure someone said it, but YouTube and your thumbnail's got Golden Rose Day preview. That's weird, but thanks mate, I'll fix it. Oh, okay. Oh, Golden Rose review. I think they all do. What was it? Epsom. Update all. There we go. We're back. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I think it's so interesting and getting sidetracked. May as well get sidetracked for the biggest race in the history of racing. The weirdest part about this race and the way it sort of stands now is that Carging Rising goes forward, depending on whether Baywack goes in the race or not. Overpass goes forward, and then you've got Jolly Star, Briasa, Lady Shenandoah, Jimmy Star, War Machine, Angel Capital all want to draw a gate so they can hold a spot. And if they don't draw a gate, they can't really hold a spot. But if they draw, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, they can bounce and hold. They can't press and hold. So, yeah, it's a very interesting race, and the barrier draw is going to be so, so important to a horses like Lady Shenandoah, Briasa, Jimmy Star, War Machine, Angel Capital. It's just going to be imperative. Even Tempted probably needs to, it's probably got a little bit more speed, but it still would prefer to draw a gate. If Charmstone gets in there, the same, and Magic Time's the same. So, Jetabil, it doesn't matter whether it draws gate 0, unless the gate 0 is 50 metres in front of the gates. It doesn't matter where Jetabil draws. But, yeah, it's an interesting race, but the draw is just going to be make or break for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th picks. Jimmy's gone like a rocket. I agree, Todd. They just get caught up in it. Jimmy Star's a pretty good 1,200 metre horse. Yeah, Private Harry apparently is proper lame. Yeah, we won't see it again this prep anyway, so no real point talking about him. He's Gary gone. But yeah, I think the heading to the Everest, I don't see how Briasa can turn the tables on Jimmy Star unless it gets a crazy draw, and I don't see how Briasa can win the race. Like, for it to be 3rd pick to me is laughable. Like, Briasa should be 20 to 1. Unless, even if it draws well, I don't see how it can beat Jolly Star for 1. And then I think Lady Shenandoah, Jimmy Star are better than it. I think War Machine's dangerous. Angel Capital, I would have Briasa 5th, 6th, 7th pick. It's had the best run in the history of mankind at both starts. And yes, to a certain degree, that's a product of your ability to hold a spot, but it's drawn the gate both runs. So, it's going to have to do it again. And how can it improve enough? Kick. I don't know. You see, so I haven't really paid much attention to Giga Kick. Saw it jump out or something a while ago, but I haven't paid much attention. All right, the Epsom, they sort of go an evenish tempo, then slow it right up. Like usually in a proper Epsom, your pressure's right on from the 800 metre mark, and then sort of last man standing. There's usually good pressure as well. So for them to run even time, then slow to sort of 3.5 lengths below between the 8 and the 600 is very abnormal, and ideal conditions for Autumn Glow. Again, well, at least he went out with intent here, but I'm not knocking the ride, but it was literally the only way it could happen. Like, he's not positive. The horse just puts itself there. The horse is a fast horse. It could have led this race easy if they wanted to, and I think you would have to snap its jaw to get it back in behind him, but. Regardless, sanity prevailed, and it follows fully a lit across. I thought it was a bit ambitious to go forward on Pier second up, but, they went so steady. I don't think it really hurt its chances. I think it was up against it just off the setup anyway. So Pericles, sort of just go back to the start, is definitely not cleanly away, sort of gets checked and struggles to muster. I don't think he was quite at his best. He should be crossing horses like El Costello and NCAP, Verona Rose very, very quickly, and he just couldn't do that. So not sure if he was at his best or not, but, he still ran well, but not a good sign to me when he couldn't show early speed, whether he just missed the kick or something weird happened. But yeah, to me, it is a bit of a nothing race, and I'm not saying the jury's out because I'm one of her biggest fans, Autumn Glow, but yeah, it is not a real Epsom. She's landed in an ideal. It's not easy to go 1,300 to a mile sitting outside the leader at Randwick. So, regardless of a softish tempo, she's still put in a pretty big effort. And she's a very, very good horse, but she's still beaten not a lot. I think it's a good sign that she sort of half got off the bit here and was still able to pick up and run away from them. I was I was heavy on Pericles here, and I was just sort of sweating on a run and thought he was going to pick him up and put him away here. At one point, I thought once this gap opened, I thought the big fella was going to let go and just put him away, but she finds the afterburners.
Responding to pressure, and the mare hits the lead with Pericles into the clear. Autumn Glow gets a length and a half clear, and Autumn Glow remains unbeaten. What
do we learn from this race? Not a lot. Going forward, who do you want to follow? I think Pier's worth forgiving second up at the 1600 metres here. Yeah, or El Castillo was quite disappointing late. Verona Rose was only plain. Swift Falcon went okay, but at Swift Falcon, Fully Lit was just, you know, a horse that's 12th up that was just gifted a lead and had full control of the race, hard fit horse, battled on. Like, that was just absolutely Christmas and every other holiday thrown into one, birthdays, whatever you want. It's run second. Pericles, he's Pericles. You know, I don't think he was at his best, but he's still, you know, again, an ideal race for him. So the winner to me really is the only horse I want to find going forward. And I could be forgiving of Pierre being only second up. I think he peaked big time. And if he's just ridden a little bit more conservatively, I think he can hit the line. Like, look at him. I think he's out on his feet here, and he's still not really losing ground. I think Chael just been overrated. I think he sort of hit a purple patch there at one point. Definitely the race shape's not ideal for him, but he's definitely not dominant. Maybe he's not at his best as well, maybe. But he's definitely not got huge excuses and upside this prep. Like, he couldn't get past Pierre late, who to me looks out on its feet. NCAP went okay. Yeah, well, that's it. Penman can still go in at benchmark 78, you would assume. What's it doing in this race? I'll never know. You want a bigger Ladbrokes loader? I could do that. I don't know where Autumn Glow will go. I'd be happy if they put her away, but I don't think she'll line up in a Cox Plate or anything like that. I don't know where they'll go. They've probably said it. I've just been too busy to pay much attention, to be honest. But yeah, and that's what it looked like when she changed legs. She found another gear, absolutely. And she's they're pretty much like, for her to carry 54.5 in an Epsom. Was insane. Like, she should never have that much weight in an Epsom. And that was, again, a product of how bad the race was. But, yeah. She's the real deal. I think that's the race for it, Paul. I think the Eagle's the race I'd be going to if it was mine. NCAP's just a nightmare to get to follow. The horse is just a nightmare. Metrop, this is a pretty ugly race. The winner is weird. It's just nearly uncontrollable. It looks like the jockey's never got any control over it and sort of steers him into the clear and wins the race on its own. Yeah, that sort of lead-up form, those hard-fit horses. I get the feeling this race is second tier, but there's, you know, so many of these races, and I call them take-turns horses, and that's what they are. Yeah, was Vauban a good thing beat? Not so sure. Maybe. More Felons improved out of sight. Juju Kibo couldn't pick its feet up last week and went well here. It's just all very smelly form. They do go fast, don't they? They go quick early, and then they slow right up, and then they come home in even time. So they go quick the first sort of half, and then by the 800 metre mark, they start to slow, pack up, and then sprint home. So yeah, the horses up on speed here are working a little bit. The winner's back here on the inside. You can see it's just nearly out of control. Number 13 in the Australian Bloodstock colours back here, 5th last. And you can see it sort of starts to navigate itself through the field. The jockey's not really able to hold it. So it's a pretty big performance for this horse to be expending this much energy back in the field and able to finish off as strong as it does. You can see, look at it charging through the field here in the middle. So to finish off in good style was a good effort. You can see, look at it pulling. He's dead set got no control over the horse.
Then came Vauban giving away a big start from Wycliffe as they race up to the home turn. Glory Days.
It's taken him all the way to the absolute ideal spot. So whether that's a great rider, the horse is a genius and rode itself there. You be the judge. 4 barns on its back.
Back on the inside, Arthur Baskin from Sun and Sand. They stretch right across the track. At the 300 metres, Solar Spain, the favourite, hits the lead. Royal Supremacy is going after it on the outside, clear from Piggyback. Duakibo, Vauban's in a bad pocket. Royal Supremacy moved up to Solar Spain. Royal Supremacy hits the front. Royal Supremacy draws away to win the Metropolitan from Solar.
Yeah, I don't know. Solar Spain's not, it's pretty lightly raced and it hasn't had hard racing. So you think it'd have more racing at this prep. Jujikibo, you think, would be near its top. I think it's had quite a bit of hard racing, and on the back up this week, you think that'd top it out. Travolta the same. I think it's had a lot of hard racing. I would be surprised if it's got upside. More Felon's great, back to its best. It definitely can go on from here. Birdman, yeah, jury's out, but I think he's not a bad horse, but I don't think he's any star. Wycliffe was a little bit unlucky in the straight. Piggyback, I don't think's got much upside either. I think Flying Bandit, who was only 3rd up here, I believe, it can go to Melbourne and win a country cup. I've got no problem with that. I think it could sneak. If they try and go that way and send it to a, maybe not a Geelong Cup, but maybe even a Geelong Cup, I think it could be dangerous. And Vauban goes to the Caulfield Cup. It's not going to be a very strong Caulfield Cup, so it's dangerous. If Shin lands on it or something, it'll run well. Yeah, proper plunge late. It was very, very well backed. And yeah, it was an extraordinary performance. It came out of that Newcastle Cup that was very slow run. He's obviously in good form, but that was an extraordinary performance. Yeah, no margins, punch finish, but that's what they are. He's not really in the right stable to keep him fresh. That's the problem. Vauban. But while he's in Sydney, at least he's the boss is in Melbourne, so he's more chance of staying fresh while he's here. The last is not a bad race. Really strong performances from Rick Disnick. They sort of go even time, sprint home from the 800-metre mark, and the winner's gone about 7 lengths above the last 600 from a rearward position. So that wasn't easy to do up the straight. Not too many horses sprinted up the straight as well as this horse did. There are some good runs back in the field. World Alliance goes okay. And Green Shadows goes really well from the back, but it is Green Shadows. Does race well fresh. It's just a suck of a horse that tries to drive you mad. I think this will be a pretty strong feeder race. A lot of people found this Beauty Charge and was on it. It's big odds. I only had a little bet on it, but I was kind of cheering for it as well. Disney was a decent result. Disney's here, sort of gets dragged out. Gwalen was all right again, but he's sort of testing the patience. These are the two that run home fast in Green Shadow and World Alliance. Cloudland gets caught wide. Boston Rocks get caught wide. They both run well considering, and I think that's a product of it wasn't a fast tempo. The leader sort of stopped badly late. Don't know what to do with Raikkonen. I don't think it's a 1,200-metre horse, but still was disappointing here. I thought once he landed that position, he was going to run well. Maybe he's a little bit like Shangri-La Spring and got a little bit out-sprinted here. So maybe benefit of the doubt to Shangri-La Spring and Raikkonen that are both sort of 1,400-metre milers, I think. But Beauty Charge looks the winner here for a couple of strides when it pulls out, and then Disney down here with the white face comes ripping home late. Get a Fix went terrible. It's a weird horse, very enigmatic. Green Shadows here, World Alliance, they're the two horses that finish off really well. But again, you have to say, like bunch margins, they're a little bit take turns, these sort of horses here. But yeah, I want to be forgiving of Raikkonen and Shangri-La. Another Nash special to finish the day. Very, very good rider. Yeah, I don't think there's anything much I can shine on that race. I'd love to see this horse go down the straight. I'd love to see it go down the straight. I think it could be very dangerous down the straight. Whether it ever happens or not. He's, again, quite deep into his prep, so, it's not easy, but I think he's had, he's only had 4 runs back. I'd love to see him sneak down there and 1,200-metre race down the straight would be very, very interesting. Especially on a good track. All right, Melbourne. We'll have one look at the 2-year-olds. Fast tempo here, really good ride.
Goes up to the outside and completes it.
One of those horses get a fix. It seems like it's got a cult following, and it goes like a rocket when it feels like it, and goes like a camel when it doesn't. So this is the winner. Really good ride from Mark Zara. Just lets the race flow away from him and then gets over the top of them late. They do go quite quick here. The winner's back in the, is it Carl Holt's colours, is it? The red V with the black, with the blue. Horse outside the lead is a good effort. So it's doing a lot of work off the bit early and kicks on really strongly. Thought its effort was really good. What's it called? I'll have a look in a sec. But yeah, Zara, he's just such a good rider. Keeps the 2-year-old balance. Like a very good effort to finish off from this far back in the race, and just love the way this horse wants to find the line. Very sick if you're on the horse outside the leader. It was probably the run of the race. Well, Streisand. Yeah. Very sick. Yeah. Very sick. Very good effort. Again, Uncle Joel found them both. Too good. But yeah, that form looks okay. They've worked. Again, don't think the slipper winner was standing out there, but superimposed plate, they go 12 lengths slow. This is what's driving me insane, right? They go 12 lengths slow to the 800-metre mark. They slow to 16.6 slow to the 600-metre mark. So these middle distance horses that are going to races like, or derbies eventually, but, you know, races like Spring Champion, they're all one-paced horses as a rule. And these jockeys are trying to turn them into sit sprint 1,400-metre races. It's so weird. And, you know, no one takes advantage of it from the 800-metre mark. Like, if you're getting a race handed to you 12 lengths below and you're up in front, and you're not trying to step the tempo up from the 800-metre mark in an 1,800-metre race, something wrong. So, anyway, definitely a few flashing light runs here. Arabian Prince is a massive flashing light run for a race like the Derby. So typical Mick Kent just gets dragged out the back, sort of half misses it and goes out the back. Miwar and Options, you know, they've done nothing wrong, and both look like they're going to progress to 2,000 metres plus, so definitely not sacking the first two across the line. They're back here, off the slow tempo. Arabian Dancer's last. Officiates the one that gets the best run you've ever seen in your life and looks the winner and just can't go with them late. So I don't see Officiate troubling these horses further up in distance. So Arabian Ruler's back in here. Arabian Prince, Officiate on the outside, and Miwa's in the yellow, is it? Yeah, it's in the orange. Trying to come with it, then Arcora, and me was closing too. Officiate at the clock tower. So this guy, I just like the look of this guy as his last 200 metres I thought was excellent. Arabian Prince. 100 metres to go. Now Miwa and Options lifting. Miwa and Options, they go to the line, a very close go. So you know, even though it was first up, I'd have it favourite for the Derby, and only the Derby, because they're such a punishing stable that ride everything so negatively trying to get it to one race. But I think it's your Derby favourite for mine. I'm assuming it's close to favourite anyway. There's just so many goddamn feature races. They don't even have it up. The dead set don't even have it up. They got the gloaming and that's it. They don't even have the Spring Champion up. Oh, here we go. Spring Champion. Cox Plate. Atticus $4 for the Spring Champion. Federalist is $5 for the Spring Champion. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so Options, Miwa, no knock going forward, and Arabian Prince, definitely no knock. Edward Manifold. I'm not even going to bother with the Edward Manifold, I don't think. Very strong win, the winner. I'm sick that I think I got it beaten a Class 1 or something last start, I'm sure. Where did I get it beat? I got it beaten a maiden twice. I got it beaten a maiden at Sandown where it box seated and went like a busted. Then it ran well in a maiden at Sale, and then it's gone like a dead set rocket the last 200 metres here. But again, that 3-year-old filly form, you know, at least this horse looks like it went okay, but geez, Just a Journey's just a horse. Miraval Rose controlled and kicked on. Don't think there was anything to see there too exciting. Fondalawi looks like it's gone okay. Controlled the tempo completely, just like the Edward Manifold did. No excuses there. The Danehill interesting. We'll look at it. Even tempo the whole way, and they absolutely rip home. The outside definitely looks like it was the place to be. So, yeah, they went too slow on this horse, McGaw, last start. Horses to look at really here from a future perspective. Tenetrus or Tenterus or whatever it's called. It's definitely a very dangerous horse, sort of heading to a race like the Coolmore. My Gladiola and McGaw come down the outside and look like they find the fast lane. Rosberg pulled up lane. So obviously a complete forgive. Jimmy Ricard's definitely not in the right spot. Legacy Bound is not in the right spot. And this is Tentrus. Tentrus? He's close to the outside spot, but I think he was only first up. These horses all had plenty of trials and runs under their belt. Tyrus.
Then Legacy Bound, My Gladiola and McGaw the outside. It's a good go. 10 Tyrus just in front. The filly My Gladiola and McGaw on the outside. They reach the line.
He was good through the line again, Legacy Bound, wasn't he? I think he's very dangerous in the Coolmore, Legacy Bound. Incaroon is a bit of a suck, just keeps sort of winding up when the race is over. There's not a lot between these, but yeah, I think he'll improve a lot, Tentyrus. He's a good horse, isn't he, Legacy Bound? Yeah, well, Paul, what do you think? Is it just a dead set image thing? Like, what is it? They upgraded Musselbrook today, but they just won't do it. What is it? What is the point? What is the point? Surely if you Rosberg pulled up lane, like you say, if your horse, say if it's a welfare thing or something like that, right? Being a devil's advocate, and I'll probably get shot for even saying this, right? But okay, so say a horse has an issue with the track and pulls up with an issue. If the stewards have upgraded the track from a 4 to a 2 or whatever it is, and the horse has an issue, everything's been disclosed. But if you have an issue and then go back and ask every expert in the world what was the track, and they say it was a 1, not a 4, surely they're up against a bigger issue there. That they're not passing on the true nature. Yeah, I think this form's definitely a good form for the Coolmore. Obviously Baywhack or Tempted or something like, or Skyhook will come down. But yeah, I think this form will be very relevant in the Coolmore. What's the betting there? How hard are these races to find? Coolmore Stud Stakes. Baywhack $4. Mahuna $7. Mahuna can start now. Tempted $8. 10 Tyrus $9. Rosberg $11. Legacy Bound. Look at it. Oh my God. There's like 20 horses under 20 to 1. No clue, Vincent. No clue. No clue. Bart Cummings, not really worth looking at, I don't think. They go 30 lengths above here, the 800 metre mark. and rightly so. The winner obviously sticks on, but just an embarrassing ride. Horse got away from her. She said, yeah, it looks like it was intentionally ridden for speed. Like, look, she's ridden it into the bend here. Like, there's no settling. Like, it's not the 400-metre race. And I wonder why the horse got fired up. Like, look at it. It's not a nice start, but you've got 2,500 metres to do something. I don't think you really had to do that. Anyway, the horse got running and game over, but yeah, they go 100 miles an hour. True Stayer and Valiant King turn back the clock. Revelare finally in a fast run race over a distance and very, very average. Here's Revelare here. I find it hard to think that's not the end of his Melbourne Cup hopes and dreams. He wouldn't be running in the Melbourne Cup if he was mine. I'd be trying to find a 2,000-metre race, something for him. Second is Asterix, Sayadati is third. Then came Torrens. It's a horrible ride. Next in the field, Revelare, who hooks towards the middle of the course. Momona battles on. Terrible ride. Very good run. Exceptionally good run. Gilded Water, huge. Gilded Water, still 4 lengths in front. It's a long home straight. But yeah, Melbourne Cup wise, you'd say this is, you know, this Valiant King who's been there, done that before. Sort of stamped his quality. Just wish I'd have found him to throw him in the quaddie. Hob for Now is a good stayer, isn't it? Doesn't have the class of a lot of these horses, but he's a good stayer. All right, here we go, Turnbull Stakes. I actually haven't looked at this. I've only looked at it once. They go 11 lengths below. So after we come off a 30 length above in the Bart Cummings, they go 12 lengths below and still only 10 lengths below by the 600-metre mark, come home about 8 above. So, yeah, I honestly didn't think this horse had it in it to sprint this quickly. And it does level out late, sort of go one pace. So, you know, I laughed at everyone sort of saying it won't run 2 miles. Nothing to me says this horse won't run further. I think he just wants to keep running. It doesn't matter what it's against. So, yeah, to me, I still stand by the fact I think it's Fiorente 2.0, and it might even be better. But that's just one wombatted tin hat wearing redhead's opinion. All right, let's watch the race. I was amazed he went to the fence on Aliana here early and sort of gave away his advantage. To me was the draw that Via Sistina's on the inside. So why you would go to the fence on this horse, I don't know. I thought it was complete madness. Just had to stay one off, which sort of kept you having options. Willow's a freak. I don't know how the hell he ends up in the 1-1 from where he is. But they're obviously not going fast. And he idles up and somehow ends up pushing, is it Deacon to the fence? It's just like, I don't know how the hell he did that, Willow, but too good. But even in saying that, the horse has got the ability to, that's the second time he's had to sort of make a mid-race move, even though it was very early on and they're not going fast. He had to do that first up as well, and he just continually, just nothing phases this horse. You can just hit him with a bat and it doesn't matter. To Moira, Middle Earth, and last is Land Legend. Adelaide River at 3/4. Then came Antino, who continues. So yeah, Aliana's now in this spot where she's stuck behind Deacon and got camels everywhere around her. J-Mac gets Via Sistina out into the running line, and Antino's out there somewhere. 3 wide outside him. So yeah, even though he's done a bit of work here, Antino, the tempo I think negates it. I think his effort's good, but thinking he's going to turn the tables on this horse is wishful thinking to me. Half Yours is back here in the black, in the brew colours with the black with the blue. Golden Path, Via Sistina on its back, Aliana locked up. On the inside, Aliana, they were followed by River of Stars out deeper on the track. Sardozi's in the middle too, Land Legend right at the back. Now 3 and 4 deep Via Sistina. They were followed by Zardozi. So she's had excuses tempo-wise, Via Sistina, but not a lot. She's still within a length or so of these horses, and she's done no work. So, you know, I don't think she's had huge excuses. Neither has Aliana, really. I honestly think it was not a bad ride on Antino. I don't think the horse is you know, I think if he had got home, he would have been saying what a great ride it was, given the tempo. So, yeah, I don't think these horses have got any excuse, to be honest. I don't think this horse will get around the valley. I'm worried about that. But if it does, good luck beating it. If this sucker gets around the valley, good luck beating him in the Cox Plate. Because, you know, how's that horse going to run past him? It'll be a good race in the Caulfield Cup if these two horses line up against each other, Aliana and Half Yours, but I'd probably want to be with Half Yours, to be honest.
Under pressure, Sir Delius trying to come on, then Young Verda, Via Sistina and Aliana up the middle of the course. Antino at the 250 takes Adelaide River, then Sir Delius staying on from Via Sistina.
Like, look at him, he never looks comfortable, he never gets on his right leg, he just... And then when he does, like, look at him, these last 100 metres in all these races, it's just been crazy. He just goes into another gear. It's just, he's not, he's just different gravy.
Sir Delius wearing it down. Sir Delius takes the lead from Antino Via Sistina. Sir Delius, take note, the real deal.
Sectional wise, Half Yours has run clearly the fastest last 200 of the race. Things coming from the back that have done anything. What's this thing? Moira's run a good race from the back. Sort of didn't do a lot of work. Yeah, Deacon find the right race. William Shin too. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think Half Yours. I said a couple of weeks ago on the Little Birdie or whatever it was that I think it's the greatest. Yeah, he'll be $5 or $6 in the cup, depending on what he does in the Cox Plate. He'll be $5, $6, $7, as they always. You know, he'll still have the question mark going 2,000 to 3,200, no matter what. So I doubt that he'll be shorter than that. There you go, David. I don't think. It just doesn't happen, does it? It just doesn't happen. They don't start shorter than that in the Melbourne Cup, especially coming out of Cox Plates and not proven here. So what's he? And he's only ever won over 2,400 overseas, Group 3 level, 2,000 metres at Doomben, and he's gone 16, 18, 2,000. So he hasn't ticked that. I can't imagine that he starts shorter than $4 or $5, even if he smashed him in the Cox Plate. He's got to be... Actually, Land Legend was interesting. I wanted to have a look at it. Sorry, I'm going back.
Golden Path edge between them. Golden Path with the back to River.
They've just taught him to settle at all costs, haven't they, Land Legend? It definitely looks like he has. Back here, maybe they've taught him to settle too much.
Sir Delius, take note, the real deal. Sir Delius, 2 legs Antino.
Fast mark, wasn't it? They're only interested in one race with it, I think. Hill guy, this thing went like a rocket. Went like a dead set rocket. And I can argue it should be, you know, in that it's definitely a top 3 chance in the Everest, and that's a big statement saying, you know, if you say Carrying Rising's got a margin on them, it's definitely a chance of running in that next bracket. We're talking Jolie Star, Lady Shenandoah, Angel Capital, Priasa, Jimmy Star. In that bracket, he's definitely competitive with those sort of horses. I love that he showed really good speed here. And the race was over 1,000 metres out. It was just laughable. The way the track obviously helped him too, this playing. He definitely found the fast lane and found the back of the right horse. Everything went his way. But he's got that little bit more tactical speed than, you know, some of the horses too. So I don't mind that he's going to end up in an Everest second up off the back of this. I think he's the right horse off a Stradbroke preparation, freshened up, one run, bang, straight into the Everest. I like that preparation. So I think he's going to run well, whether he can win or not. Probably not. But I hope I'm wrong.
Bridal waltz at the clock tower, but War Machine moves up on the outside, then Star Patrol.
He's just such a great rider.
And it explodes. War Machine came away and won it well. Bridal Bolt second, Star Patrol third, then Lafraca, Payline Royal Insignia, and next to finish Willowdoe.
Yeah, he's gapped Payline, exactly. So even though he's found the right part of the track, hard fit Payline, who's been running well in those, you know, Manicados and Moyas. Lafraca's like up in grade miles, but flying and hitting the line beautifully. I thought second horse trialled really well, and you know, Star Patrol's no slouch, and he's gapped them late, run fast time off the slow tempo or a softish tempo, and it's only a softish tempo because they've run so fast home. So, and then the last, yeah, this kind of went to script. I thought Media World controlled the race completely. Thought it was a good ride from Celine Gaudray to get up there and just let the big horse slide around him. I thought it was a good effort and a good ride. She never restrained him and just sort of let him flow the whole way. So even though he looked a bit unlucky sitting 3 wide, they're going so slow that, yeah, I thought the effort was good. Von Hawk's just a weird horse, isn't it? When it's in the, like, he's been promising to win a race for a while and hasn't got one home, and this effort's really good here. But yeah, the winner was definitely extremely well placed here, and a solid win. It can go on from this. Cafe Millennium's completely airborne. I think this form will be okay, and I think this horse is ready to do something next time out. Shadzi, it just never got in the right spot as all. Shadzi or something, what's it called? Shadizi. In the Aussie Kia colours, sort of heading back towards the inside there, just runs up their asses and then checks off heels and comes around the back of Von Hawk late here in the Aussie Kia colours. Thought its last 200 was really good considering it never got a chance to build momentum. It can win a race. It probably needs a few things to go its way as well. I'll have a quick look at these week's coming races just because why not, but I do have to run soon. I don't even know what's on. Sydney looked terrible from what I saw. Oh, we've got Bendigo Dogs. Beautiful. What have we got? Caulfield Guineas. Yeah. Well, like keeping it to 1,400 metres, I think, is the key to Cafe Millennium. I don't think he runs a mile. Autumn Boy, yeah, I think this form's crap. I think Vinrock's very steady. I think West of Swindon's very steady. I think Navy Pilot's not a bad horse and it's going to be well set up. I think all this form's crap. Planet Red, crap. So, yeah, I just think Autumn Boy's going to jump out of the ground and win, even though Wodenton beat at home. I think this horse has got more upside. I just don't know what that race was so weird last start. I don't know. I just get the feeling, and it's just the most ridiculous way to put anything, that this Autumn Boy is just going to improve significantly. And, you know, you've always got to be scared of Grand Final Waller 2 and Wodenton being so valuable if he wins a Group 1 as a 3-year-old. So, scared of that, but I think Autumn Boy, to me, has got to have more upside. Yeah, nepotism. Very hollow, all this form. Very hollow. I thought there was a little out wide horse, but it must not be going there. Yeah, if Skyhook was mine, it would have been going here. If Baywack was mine, it would have been going here. Caulfield Guineas. Turak Handicap. Yeah, I thought it'd be shorter, Sepples. I think they're the two chances. You know, without before barrier draws and everything, I'd say they just clearly got a lot on these. I think Lazura's just cracking jokes that it's in the betting. Lazura. Transatlantic's a solid horse. He can win if the other two have problems in the run. Like a Lucy's a solid horse for sure. Ferroci's solid, but I don't think it's well set up to win. The Mask Rose needs to improve. Desert Lightning was average last start. Willie Dewitt got smashed in the head, didn't it, the other day? Athanatos, geez, it's a hollow race. Yeah, I think the top two are clearly far and away the top two hopes here. Pricing a little bit shorter. I sort of would have thought it was like $3, $3.50, $10 the rest. I'm not taken by Rivellino at this stage. I don't think it's got as much upside as the other horse has. What weight has Like a Lucy got? $54.5. So Evaporate's got 58. Seppel's got 57. Will he do it? It'd be interesting if it showed up there and it was alive. I just don't know what the extent of that eye injury or what the story was last week. Might and Power. Jesus Christ, you'd have to have balls of steel to take $1.70 Treasure of the Moment. Like, I know she was good the other day, but far out. And Buckaroo's gone down to Sir Delius, who... Shit. She's still got to prove she's back to me. Like, she was still first up the other day, Pride of Jenny, even though she was well ridden and this horse was off a little setback. Jeez. There's no big value there, like 170 versus 220. There's no rocket science there, but I'd have Buckaroo favourite over her, to be honest. Probably have them both longer than that anyway. Galachi is your Giga Kick back with Neance. Benedetta, Arabian Summer, Golden Boom. Nothing exciting there. Tropicus was good, but different grade. There's no way in the world Devil Knight's running an 1100 metre race, surely. Nothing there. Herbert Power, I don't even know why I clicked on it. Northwood Plume, what's that race? Mina. Oof, he's bulletproof. Oof. What Aviatrix? Nothing there. Where's the Sydney races? Hill Stakes. Is this worth $2 million? Lindemann the favourite for a race worth $2 million? Kovalika. Whoa, shit, there's a horse. There's a horse. Hold the phone. Got to find out if that horse is going to this race. Hasn't trialled or anything since. Holy shit. I'd rather back Elamaz than these horses. Christian Kingswood. All these horses are in like 3 different races. Walk to Park. El Costello. Light Infantry Man's interesting. Jeez. It tracked into the race like I was just going to gap him the other day and 100% knocked up. I'd be very interested in Elamaz there if you can confirm the horse is going there. What's the Alan Brown Stakes? How much is it worth? 10 million? Holy shit, Miss Rumbini. Is this mare's race? It's had about 5 different names. I know Gringotts is not a mare. Headley Grange. Oh, is this the... No, it's going to the big dance, right? Like, what's this race? What did it used to be called? Why call a race the Alan Brown? Like, what the hell? 3-year-olds and up, quality, but 1.5 million. 3-year-old and up quality for 1.5 million. Well, it's just airborne. Firestorm, Gringotts, Headley Grange won't go there, you wouldn't imagine. This horse can win. McHale can win. If it's a quality... If it's a quality and it's down in the weights, McHale can win. General Salute, that Autumn Glow form, huh? Which one, Paul? Mr. Mbini? Or which horse? Oh, General Salute, which horse? Oh, Elamaz? Yeah, I don't know. I'll find out, though. And the gloaming's this week. Huh? The gloaming stakes is this week? Within the law, wouldn't one run 1,800 metres off a cliff? There's got to be value here somewhere. Jesus, Champagne Hero. Champagne Hero is $5 in a goddamn Class 1 or something the other day at Newcastle. What's going on? It's a $500,000 race and that's it. That's all we got. Joe Pride's Twitter said he was going there. Which one? Headley. Oh, to that $1.5 million race. I thought he said Barn Dance. That race interests me, but I'd have to go back and have another look because I couldn't imagine that this horse could start $3.20 over 1,800 metres. Roman Consul. Oh my God. How is fun? Oh, it's only 1,200. Jeez, Mahoon no $2.50 chance in any race anywhere ever. Neither's Beedman. And Nivison. Gangster Granny's back. Wonder if old mate will get the ride again. Generosity coming out of weight for age races. Monty Supreme. Holy cow, you'd be ballsy to bet against Monty Supreme in anything that goes in. I love this horse, fresh infancy. What sort of race is the Nivison? Set weights penalties. Set weights penalties, so she'll get in horribly. She's an 82 rater. Lady Supreme. Monty Supreme. In flights in the race, it's a 107 rater. The weights would be interesting for that race. The way it's going, it can win anything. There's definitely some interesting races here. Tap Craig. So Farnicle's in this race as well, so that looks a good race for Farnicle. 1,400 metres second up. Stremo deep prep. State Visit only going fair. Oh Hope is average. Vermoy's average. Ripley's average. Well, Ripley had the best run you've ever seen in your life the other day. Duke of Arrakis. Jesus, Farnicle will be hard to beat there. That's the race for Farnicle. Oh, just too many. Alan Brown, then Big Dance. Okay. Fred Bassett. All right, I'm running away. I've got to go bowling. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming along. Oh, yeah, so the live streams, I can do them, but I can't have Vision anymore. We've been banned from Vision, so no Vision. So I'll start doing them again, sort of second half of the card, but no Vision. Naughty boy. I'll check in later in the week. Have a good night. End scene.
What are you really
Bang.
gambling with?
Yeah,
For
get
free
the
and
race
confidential
caller.
support, call the number on the screen
JW,
or visit the
race caller,
website.
that's me. You can hear the pain. You can hear the pain in my voice.